No. No. You don't react the right way. Even though, if you happen to have been inside of an MRI and those words had been spoken, or you had seen them in less than a second, there would have been the release of these stress-producing hormones and neurotransmitters. And they would have immediately interrupted your normal functioning of your brain, impairing logic, reason, language processing, and communication. Remember this guy? Oh, for you younger folks, I'd like for you to meet Uncle Bill. All right. You know, if you persist in negative thinking, you're going to find that it disrupts your sleep. It'll interfere with your appetite, your ability to experience long-term happiness and satisfaction is going to be reduced. So, any form of negative rumination. How many of you ruminate? So, any form of negative rumination is going to release destructive neurochemicals. So, did you realize that negative thinking is also self-perpetuating? So if you speak negative words with anger, you're even going to get a greater effect on it. Sometimes you don't realize that the brain that you have in your head has different parts that respond or react to the energy that you generate or the energy that's coming to you that you interpretate. The thalamus is one of the parts of the brain that does this, and also the amygdala. So if you actually experience something that seems to be threatening to you and you find yourself starting to go into that unconscious reactive state, you need to stop yourself right there. And you need to ask yourself, is this actually life-threatening right now? And if the answer is no, then it's time for you to then take it and reframe it. And you see, this is where the power of yes comes into play. Because if you and yourself are aware of what's going on inside of you, you can do so much to help yourself. You can do so much to benefit you that no one else can really do for you. You see, the power of yes can be found in positive affirmations. It can be found in positive communication. It can be found in the positive thoughts that we choose to think. But an interesting thing about the brain is that you have to say positivity more than negativity. And the reason is, anything positive is not interpreted as a threat by your brain. So it doesn't pay it the immediate attention that a no is going to create. So this is why it's so vitally important to realize that if you're in the process of wanting to turn your life around, you have to put more time, effort, and energy into your positive expressions to get your brain's attention so that it then begins to generate corresponding hormones and neurotransmitters. Your tendency, of course, is if you're just getting into this, is to try to do it one for one. For every no that you say a yes, and then wonder why it is you're not making much progress. So what you have to do is you have to step up the yes. You have to engage in the yes in order to actually start turning it around so that you can then turn the corner and start making your way into a state of happiness and fulfillment. So, it doesn't really matter if your positive thoughts or expressions are rational. That part of you that you're trying to impress or influence doesn't really base any of its involvement on what is rational only. Stop to think about it. How much of your negativity is rational? If you ever pay attention, you're going to notice that there's like a receptive idiot inside of you. I know my ego takes exception to hearing that. Yours might too. But you see, you have to see who's there and see what it is you actually want to accomplish. So be positive, even if it seems like it's goofy positive. If you are positive and you choose to continue being positive, you're going to find that positive then starts showing up in your life. Positive words and thoughts propel the motivational centers in the brain to start functioning. I think another thing that will probably come to your attention is if you hang out with negative people, they definitely have a negative effect upon you. So this is wherein many times, if you can exercise, stop hanging out with your dad. Many times, if you want to make a positive change in your life, you have to stop associating with negative people that affect you in such a negative way. Now, granted, that may slim down the numbers of people that you hang around with, but it's going to upgrade your actual experience in life. Now, this might be hard if it's people that you work with. It might be hard if it's people that you hang around with. It might be even really hard if it's somebody you're married to. Nevertheless, there's a positive to that because none of them are going to live forever. That can always translate into a positive. Because you can project yourself into the future with the attending positive realization, I'm going to outlive you, sucker. And then the other positive flip side of that is, maybe they'll outlive you and you won't have to mess with them anymore. I'm looking at you, Uncle Bill. I may need your help in this. So, here we're getting to kind of like a nice, easy conclusion. If you want to develop lifelong satisfaction, you should regularly engage in positive thinking about yourself. Regularly engage in positive thinking about yourself. Share your happiest events with others. Go ahead, share them. And then, of course, savor every positive experience you have in your life. Sometimes it is before I'll drift off into sleep that I'll think back on the day. And when I do, I'm inclined to look and see what has happened to me. And with this dawning, developing realization of just how powerful positive is, I look for the good and I praise it. Even when I find that the idiot is present and is trying to bring up, dredge up all of the terrible things that happen during the day, I am likewise inclined to remind myself, and I made it. I'm right here in bed now. Fingers are working. My feet are working. My legs are working. My arms are working. My back. All my faculties. I've got all my senses up and running. I rejoice that I have made it all this way. And I'm here to see it and call it a blessing. Choose your words wisely and speak them slowly. The mere repetition of positive words, love, trust, acceptance, peace, joy, happiness, well-being, harmony. These words will turn on specific genes and lower your physical and emotional stress. You'll feel better. You might even live longer. And you definitely will build a deeper and more trusting relationship with yourself and with others. This is the power of yes. Thank you.
For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.